New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
You will enjoy psychic entertainer Rick Finbow.
I'm going to give you a general reading first.
He's been helping people realize their potential for over 40 years, offering one-to-one and group sessions as well as keynote performances around the world.
I use tarot cards to help me focus my intuition.
Over 1,800 performances at the MGM Grand Las Vegas. Witness a combination of magic, mysticism, astrology, numerology, and tarot. Rick's shows are rich in demonstrations of ESP and psychic abilities, leaving you with a feeling of wonder and awe.
But there's a lot of things that are happening right now in the world that are amazing.
You just might learn a little about yourself during his show, too.
A new relationship within ourselves.
20 to 90-minute performances are available depending on the venue.
Focusing on what we want.
Psychic entertainer Rick Finbow.
And then the universe will give you more of it. And more of it.
For details and booking, go to psychicrick.com.
And now, here's Rick.
Good morning, everyone. Hi there. Thank you for joining us for another version of Ask Psychic Rick Anything. So just like that says, you can ask me any question. You can ask me a psychic question. You can ask me about my personal life. You can ask anything. Anything you want to know. I have my tarot cards here and we're ready to go. And today is a very exciting day because we have a special guest that will be joining us. Dr. David Goldberg is here and he happens to be my husband. So let's welcome Dr. David Goldberg. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Yes. So let's start right off with some exciting news that you have to tell us.
Well, exciting for me, and I'm grateful for all of the support. Yes, I recently announced that my community, Unity on the Avenue Spiritual Center in Denver, that I had been offered and had accepted the position of senior minister for Unity in the Rockies, Unity Spiritual Center in the Rockies in Colorado Springs. So for the month of December, I have the great joy and privilege of serving both Unity on the Avenue and Unity in the Rockies. And then on December 1, I will be full-time at Unity in the Rockies in Colorado Springs, and we'll be starting that day, New Year's Day, brand new year, with a burning bowl ceremony. So it just gives me great joy to continue to be able to be in service, to be able to step into ministry as a senior minister in a full-time capacity. I'm just really excited, Rick.
Yes. And we know that you're an ordained minister in religious science. And you are now a minister at Unity. Can you tell us about the differences between religious science and Unity, or the sameness, and what's going on there? Are you going to become an ordained minister in Unity?
Thank you. So the short answer to your question is I identify unity and religious science as different flavors of the same ice cream. The leaders of both organizations saw those similarities and saw those synchronicities and saw all of the places where we, as two distinct, unique, beautiful teachings, come together on so many levels. So the leadership of both organizations created a reciprocity agreement, gosh, 5 or 6 years ago, that says unity ministers can teach in centers for spiritual living or religious science churches, and religious science or CSL ministers can teach or preach or both in unity churches. So I am working through that process. I continue to be an ordained minister in good standing with Centers for Spiritual Living, and I'm working toward my ordination as a unity minister as well. So, as my friend says, I will be joyously bi-spiritual, and that will happen sometime next spring. And to your question around the similarities, yeah, that really is true. So the founders of both traditions, Charles Fillmore and Myrtle Fillmore for the Unity tradition, and Ernest Holmes for the religious science tradition, were actually contemporaries. They knew each other, they studied together with Mary Baker Eddy. They took slightly different paths as they explored Eastern traditions and Western traditions. And so there's a whole lot of similarities there. The belief in oneness, the belief in one power, one presence, the belief that we are all co creating our experience with our interpretation of the divine. So Ernest Holmes came to his revelation through years of study and research of Eastern traditions and Western traditions. And he was fond of saying the last thing the world needs is another church, as he was moving into sharing his teaching with the world. And he reluctantly decided to do that on a regular basis. The story with the Fillmores in Unity is Myrtle Fillmore was had the label, quote unquote, of being a sickly child all through her life into adulthood. And she basically went to a lecture, heard new thoughts about new thought, and went into meditation and prayer every day for 2 years, and basically cured herself of tuberculosis. So Charles Fillmore, then in watching his wife go through that process, thought maybe there's something to this. And he had some physical challenges of his own that he took into prayer and healed himself. And it was from that point then that the Fillmores as a team committed themselves to bringing the unity teaching to the world. So, long story short, we are so much more similar than we are different. And it's a very good thing. And I consider it a high honor to be able to be ordained in religious science as well as the unity tradition.
Yes. And we are looking forward to the Unity churches that you serve at, and also the religious science churches that you are with also. So we have a question here, and I'm going to bring it up now. So if you have a question, because I can see the comments over here. So comments, great. And if you have a question for me or David, just do hashtag ask, like it says on the screen here, hashtag ask, and then your question. And our first question comes from Wayne Baldwin, and it looks like he's in Calgary, coming from Calgary. And his question is, how can oneness faith spread like a virus of the mind? So I'm going to ask you, David, to answer that, and then I'm going to answer it with the cards.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Wayne, and blessings to you and all of our friends in Western Canada. I spent a fair amount of time there. I actually participated in the Stampede as an entertainer many years ago. So Calgary holds a soft place in my heart. So, with regard to the spread of oneness teachings, my philosophy is always to meet people where they are, Wayne. So, wherever somebody might be on their journey, however we might connect one on one or in a group setting or through social media, whatever that looks like, I do my best to ascertain where the person is on their journey and how I can support them. And what that looks like in our new thought traditions is we don't proselytize. We're not out there telling people what to believe, but rather our journey is to live what we know to be true, right? So Ernest Holmes was fond of saying that he would rather have one person living the principles than to have 10,000 people who knew it at a head level or an academic level. So, a couple of answers to your question. I think it is up to us to meet people where they are, to support them, and not tell people what to think or believe. That is one of the many things that I love about our traditions is we encourage questions, we encourage conversation. We're not saying you have to believe this or you're going to go to hell, right? Bless the traditions who share that information. That's not who we are. So yes, I say meet people where they're at. I also say for each one of us to continue to be that beacon and live the principles that we know to be true. Show up in oneness, show up in kindness, show up in love.
Great. Thank you, David. And I'm going to give you an answer to that question. How can oneness faith spread like a virus of the mind? By looking at the cards, the tarot cards. So I use tarot cards to help me focus my intuition. So let's just see how we can have that oneness faith. It actually says here we have the card of the lovers, but it's not the card about love. It's a card about choices. So it means that we have choices here. And there's some inner conflict too. Like there's some inner conflict going on. There's some strife and a mental fear of futility, which is interesting that we got a mental card here because the swords are a mental construct. The Seven of Swords is a mental fear of futility, like it's not working out anyway. We need to move forward from that it's not working out anyway, because that's a mental construct, not actual. And your question had in it about a virus spread like a virus of the mind. So it really says that we need to make sure that we're focusing mentally on the positive and knowing that this can happen. And then the Princess of Discs comes up. And the Princess of Discs tells us to treat it like our own business. So the interesting thing that I get intuitively from these cards, what they say is it's a choice, and that as long as there's no inner conflict for us around spreading the word, around spreading our faith, then we can have these without fear, without that fear of futility, then we can have this like, this is our own business and others will join. I love that. So, and we have a couple of people now. We have things going on all over my screen. So a lot of people on today. I'm very grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Deb Nab has a question. Her ask is, our new rescue dog Rufus got neutered on Monday, and he is 18 months old. He seems to be very uncomfortable. Is he going to be okay with more rest and pain meds? So I'm going to do that with the cards, and then we'll get back to Dr. David. "18-month-old Rufus. Let's see if he's going to be okay and how he's feeling. So the card of the moon comes up, which the moon means in the tarot deck is don't deceive yourself. You're not seeing clearly because the next card is success. So there's success around Rufus. There's expansion of his world, being the new member of your pack. I believe he's dog number 11 for you, Deb Nab, the Mutt Master. and really try again. Wow, this is interesting. So this is the disappointment card from looking at the glasses half empty instead of half full. So, and that's for you, Deb and Roger, the parents here of Rufus, to make sure that you're looking at the glasses half full instead of half empty emotionally, because dogs pick up our emotions. So Rufus will know how well he's doing also by how you think he's doing, which is great. And then you get the Princess of Discs again, which is kind of like mind our own business. So mind our own business. He'll be fine. There's a lot of success around Rufus. I'm excited. And David, you have something to tell everybody about Deb Nab, the Mutt Master, being at Unity on the Avenue this Sunday.
The timing is perfect. So good to see your name, Deb, and welcome you and your energy. Yes, the one and only Mutt Master, Deb Nab, is going to be offering a workshop at Unity on the Avenue in Denver this weekend on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. It's live and in person. Just humans only, please, for this one. And I love the title of Deb's workshop. The workshop is "It's Not the Dog, It's You." So if you're ready to get a little very sweet, tough love from, I call her Reverend Deb, by any other stretch, her work is a powerful ministry. So join us as Deb shares her tips and tactics for communicating with our beloved four-leggeds. We're very excited for that.
Yes. And I look at the time here. I told David that I would only have him on for the first 15 minutes. And I know he has another client in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to let him go. Let's see. Congratulations, David. Odyssey of the Heart. Are the Unity of the Rockies services online?
Yes, thank you so much. I'm very humbled and honored by your congratulations. It's a beautiful community. We had a great Crossing the Threshold service weekend before last. Unity in the Rockies is celebrating their 100th anniversary. And it was a great joy to have the immediate past two ministers welcome me, and to have the whole community come up one-on-one and welcome Rick and me to the community. So the answer to your question is yes. We Zoom. We are in person, and we also Zoom every Sunday at 10 a.m. Mountain, and that's available through Unity Rockies. Just the two words, unityrockies.org. And I just also wanted to say thank you again, Rick, for having me on. And I see that you have so many powerful guests all around the nation and around the world. And I wanted to give a special shout out to our soul tribe, to Kimberly Brown in Texas, and to Barbara Barrett in Grand Junction, Colorado, to JD McCarthy, so many beloveds who are here and with us in consciousness. It's such a great joy to be on this path with all of you. And also my thanks to Reverend Robert and Diego and all of the folks at New Thought Media. You're doing important work, and this is a powerful ministry. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, David. So let's get to some questions here. I see that Fiona Stafford says, serene salutations and watching from Geneva. Welcome, Fiona. Curious about the link between interpreting a card and intuition. So that's a great question for psychics and for tarot readers. So what I believe as a tarot reader, I've been reading the tarot for over 42 years, since I was 20. And I'm going to tell you that I use the tarot cards to help me focus my intuition. So I know the meanings of the cards, but I allow my intuition to come up. So as I'm doing a spread, we call it a tarot spread when we pull cards in a certain order. So I usually use the question spread, which is 4 cards, or around the world spread, starts off with 4 cards and then it moves around like a clock. And I can allow, as I get 4 cards, and you can do it with 1 card, you can do it with 2 cards, you can do it with 3 cards, 4 cards, as many cards as you want. There's 78 cards in a pack of real tarot deck, an original tarot deck. And then I just allow my intuition to come up, and I'll ask the person that I'm answering the question for if that is correct or if it feels right. And they always say yes. So I trust my intuition. Sometimes it brings up some things that I'm thinking this doesn't have anything to do with the question. And then I find out it does. So I just allow my intuition to come through by using the cards as a focal point. I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Fiona, for that question. Yes. And I see a lot of our friends here. And Wayne Baldwin says, first rule of Tarot, uncensor. Yes, like uncensor. Allow that all to come through. Let me see who else is on here. A lot of congratulations to Dr. David. Great. Thank you, everybody. And let's see. Any insights on my job hunt for Odyssey of the Heart? Let's do that next. So any insights for the job hunt? That's a good question. And it seems lately I have a lot of clients looking for new jobs, or a lot of people seem to be getting antsy or bored or feeling like they don't have the purpose that they used to have in the job that they're currently in. So they're wondering if they should be looking for something else. Let's see about your job hunt. So you got the card of Seven of Wands, which is courage to move forward, break out of an old pattern, which is great. And you want to choose something that brings in the lust for life, like that passion that I was talking about. That's what this card is about. And then the Ten of Swords is let go any mental fear of ruin. That's a big fear. This is one of the big fears. It's a mental fear of losing everything. It's not actual, but it's something that is going on within your mind. And then the last card is the Empress, which is self-care, self-love. So it really tells me intuitively that, and then the next card is adjustment and balance. So intuitively, I get that you do have the courage to go out and get a job, and that's not your problem. Like, you're doing it, but let go of the fear that you're not going to get a job or you're going to lose everything. And also during this time of looking for work, is you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and there's a balance coming in. So you can kind of also take this time to take care of yourself, self-care, self-love, which means that you need a balance of not worrying about it so much, not focusing on it all the time. Because you have the Two of Discs also, which is change. So there is something coming in, and the Emperor, which is you'll be in control of it. And it feels like your job search is really, so this is something that I can feel that you've been looking for already, because it feels like it's only going to be 2 weeks before you start to get an interview, before you start to get this process rolling. And you become the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands knows who she is, knows what she wants, and goes after it and gets it. So I love that. So your job search is looking good, and there's going to be new things coming in within 2 weeks, which is great. Thank you, Fiona, for that question. Next, I have Kimberly. She is asking, is there a new man in my future? Let's see. Kimberly, I love that question too. See, you can ask me anything. Nothing's off topic. There is no topic, so we can ask anything. Is there a new man in Kimberly's future? The first card that comes up is the Fool, which is wonderful because the Fool is actually opportunity, and it says that you're a fool if you miss the opportunity. Not that you're gonna miss the opportunity, but there's an opportunity coming up, and because it's the first card, it means that there's an opportunity coming up for you to meet somebody very soon, like now, right now, or into the near future, not way out in a year from now. It's soon. Soon you will have this opportunity, and you'd be the fool if you miss the opportunity to take that opportunity. And there's expansion of your world. The Eon card is next. And then a gain in all levels, Nine of Discs, which is a gain in all levels. And the last card, couldn't even plan this, is the Two of Cups, which is love. So there's love coming in for you, Kimberly. A new man. It's going to happen very soon. and just really all you need to do, there's expansion of your world. So I am going to say you need to get out there so you can meet people. So take a class, go somewhere where you might meet people. Something that it doesn't feel like it's online, though. It doesn't feel like it's online. It feels more organic, like you meet this person through someone, or you meet this person through something that you're doing. So look for expansion of your world. Like, how can I expand my world and get out and be seen? And then you have this love coming in. It's excellent. And there's a gain in all levels. You do well in relationships. That's what that means. And you'll do well in this relationship because there's a gain. Excellent. Thank you, Kimberly. Jody asks, will I win my court case? That's a great question. Let's ask that. See, and a lot of times when I'm reading for people in person, they tend to tell me a backstory, and I don't need to know the backstory. A good psychic doesn't need to know a backstory. Just like that. Will I win my court case? Don't need to know the backstory. The backstory usually comes up in the answer, and I may question you if we were live. It's different when we're just doing this with the online and the comments. So it does say, yes, there's wealth through communication. 10 of Discs is wealth through communication for you. And it says the moon, which is self-deception. Don't deceive yourself. There's a new aha moment about this court case, like a new mental enlightenment, like an aha moment. And then you also get the Fool, which is don't miss the opportunity in this. So there's going to be an opportunity in this court case, and you just stay strong in your convictions. Also, the Queen of Wands. I know who I am. I know what I want. Be really strong. This is a likeness of Oprah. She knows who she is, knows what she wants, and goes after and gets it. So with the court case, it looks really good. Excellent. Thank you. Those are good questions. Let me see what else is happening over here on my comment side. Angie. Hi, Angie. There has been a lot of male energy in my astral world. Any insight on that? Thank you. Let's see. That's great too. Insight on male energy in the astral world for Angie. So we have the High Priestess, which is just listening to your intuition. We also have the first card is the Princess of Wands. And the Princess of Wands, it means that you know what you need to do. You just need to do it. So there is a message here for you that you need to do or you need to act on. And it will bring happiness. You got the Nine of Cups, emotional card about happiness. So it's really about your relationship and moving forward because you have opportunity. You have the Wheel of Fortune in your favor, which brings opportunity. Let me just see what that opportunity is. It's actually more about the male thing in your astral world is really telling you to be more in control. Like you have the Emperor here, which is control, power and control for you, and go after what you want because you have the Ace of Wands here, which means you're on the right path. Stay on that path and go forward with it and be in control of that. So it's really coming up that reason why the male energy is coming in around your astral world, it's to teach you and give you a message of be strong in your convictions of what you want and knowing what you want. You're on the right path. Stay on that path and go after it. Nice. Excellent. That feels good. And also Odyssey of the Heart is asking, what about my love life? Okay, let's see. Thank you for these questions, everybody. Don't hold anything back and feel like you can, that we're all friends here. So Odyssey of the Heart, what about your love life? you have interesting cards around your love life because it says that you are taking care of details. There's some details that you need to take care of. You also need to rip away the past to begin anew. You actually have the death card, which doesn't mean physical death at all. It's a great card. It means ripping away the past to begin anew. So you're getting ready to bring in a new aspect of love, a new aspect around relationships. Because in the past, you've had a lot of stress. And it also shows that there's going to be a sudden change in plans where you see somebody. So the lightning struck tower comes up, which means like you just meet them organically, just kind of happens. And the person you're bringing in is a Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is somebody who knows who they are. They know who they are, and they are also sure of themselves. So that's a good match for you. I like that. So there is a match coming in. Let go of the past, though, and stop focusing on the past. What happens a lot of times is people, when they're looking for a new love or even a new breath of fresh air in their relationship, they start focusing on what they don't want because they know what they don't want from past relationships. But we don't want to focus on that because then you'll manifest it in the future. We want to focus on what we want. So yes, we know what we don't want. I don't want that. I don't want this anymore. And then focus on what we do want. Because of this, I learned that I do want this. So I don't want this. I do want this. Focus only on what you do want. Don't even focus on the past of what you don't want. I don't want that kind of relationship again. All you want to focus on is this is the kind of relationship I want. And for anybody looking for a relationship, don't focus on their attributes of how they look or what they do or how much money they make. You want to focus on the emotional feeling that you'll have once you have the relationship that you want. So this relationship is going to allow me to feel this way. And then try to allow yourself to feel that before the relationship comes in, because relationships are like mirrors. So you're going to achieve and bring somebody to you that's at the same vibrating level as you are. So you want to already that's why they say, act as if you already have it. Act as if you already have it. Feel as if you already have the love in your life. So, and then if you can embody that, you'll meet somebody that has that also. That's how it works. I love that. And let go of also, there's a little bit of a fear of failure around that for you. So let go of the fear of failure. There's a lot of self-transformation, Odyssey of the Heart, that you're going through right now. And that's a great thing. So allow that. Let's see, Wayne, will I ever get over my fear of emotional intimacy? Nice. Let's ask that. That's a great question. Will Wayne get over the fear of emotional intimacy? Wow, the cards are great. So I'm going to tell you the cards first, and then I'm going to tell you what I get intuitively, Wayne. So you have pleasure first. This is pleasure and fun. The next card is Six of Discs, which is success. So that's a yes to your question. And then the 14th card is Art and Alchemy, turning whatever you want into gold as long as you focus on it. Remember, I told you to focus on what you want. And the Ace of Wands, which is you're on the right path. So Wayne, it really does say that you need to have more fun and don't worry so much about the fear of intimacy. You need to have more fun. And again, you can manifest whatever you focus on. So you want to focus on having fun. A lot of times people get all balled up and in fear because they think it should work out a way, or it's going to work out that way, or it's, there's just fear around that question. You even said it in your question, when will I get over the fear? And it says, yes, you will. You just need to change your focus. Don't focus on the fear, focus on the fun. So here that card of pleasure and fun is, and that's the first card that comes up. So that's very important in that space of where it comes up. that's what is holding you back. Just have fun. Don't be so especially mentally focused on how it's supposed to work out. That never works. So allow that. And you also said that God has our backs. Yes, trust that God has our back. God has my back. I don't need to fear. The opposite of fear is love. Just love. Excellent. Let's see what else we have here. Barbara Barrett, is a shift in process with my career. Is there a shift in process with my career, in my career? Let's ask that. That's a great question too. Thank you all for bringing up these questions, allowing me to help you with this. Let's see, Barbara, is there a shift in your career process or process in the career? And yes, there is. So you get success. The first card is success. So you have success coming in. And the next card is the Chariot. We haven't seen this yet today. This is the first time. It's the major card 7, which means things are happening and they're changing. Chariot brings change, and it brings change faster. So there is change. What you need to do is make sure that you're not worrying. This is the 5 of Discs is worrying. And it's interesting because the 5 of Discs is the worry card, and Discs are physical. So in the physical world, don't worry. And let go of any fear of futility. We have that again, mental fear of futility around this question, because you do have the Sun coming up here, which is happiness, and getting your goal. So there is change. There's definitely something happening around the process in your career, and there's change coming in. Don't worry about it. Allow it. As we know, God has our backs. The universe has our backs. Trust that, Barbara, because you do have the happiness card, and you also do have the Hermit, which is gaining knowledge and wisdom, and the Magician card together. So, which means a great manifester. You can manifest whatever you focus on. So it says that you may not know what to focus on right now. Just allow that, but you will have a focus very soon. Like that's coming in like within the next week, that you're going to know what the focus should be in your career. And then you manifest it by having the Magician there. So that's good too. Excellent, Barbara. That'll be exciting. Can't wait to hear. Let's see. Jeannie Collins. Jean Collins asks, can I get a general reading? Yes. Yes. Also, if we have time before the end of the hour, I can also do a general reading, but more of a specific reading around the zodiac elements. And I see that Diego, thank you, Diego Rios, he's like our god of technology here, has just put up my website. That will give you all the information about me, what I offer. I offer life coaching. I offer readings by Zoom and phone. And I have clients all over the world. So I need that question again. What was that question? A general reading. All right. Miss Collins, you have a completion of a cycle that you're doing right now. So there's a completion of a cycle, and that leaves you kind of feeling stuck or trapped. I'm getting that you're feeling kind of trapped or stuck, but there is a new enlightenment and there is change coming in for you, where you can achieve what you want to achieve and have more passion. So passion for what you're doing. This feels like it's around work, that type of thing, because it says that you are going to be able to achieve whatever you want. Let go of fear of failure or any interference from anybody around you, because all of a sudden the Chariot comes up and there's a new beginning for you. So you have a new beginning and it's just going to kind of happen. There's a change. It's interesting. So it shows that I'm getting that you need to be more patient because the change is coming in. You've been patient already. I can feel that already. Like you're saying, I've been patient. And we all hate that card, the patience card. It's called prudence. It's the 8 of discs, and it means patience. It's called prudence because the cards came from like the 15th century, which was more patience and prudence. But it says that you're getting kind of frustrating being patient, but don't be. Like, it's just, we've got to trust. We've got to trust that everything is working out in our favor, no matter what it looks like. And you have that card of that also. And there is a new beginning for you, which is great. It also says on a general level that you have some self-transformation coming in, and you know what you need to do next. You know what your next right move is. You haven't done it yet, but you're going to be doing it to bring in happiness. And you need to communicate better or more communicate better with happiness, and because there's a wealth of communication in here that brings you happiness. Okay. It's excellent. So that's a general reading for you. Lots of change for you. This is a good time of change. We also have November 8th. What's coming up November 8th, right? Not the election. I'm not talking about the election. I'm talking about the lunar eclipse. We have never had an election on a lunar eclipse, but we're not going to have another lunar eclipse for a while. And we've had a lot of lunar and solar eclipses this year. That's why it has been more volatile. Things seem to change a lot because we've had a lot of astrological things happening. We've had 5 planets, 6 planets in retrograde at the same time. So these brings up a lot of times these things happen in the stars are happening in astrologically in our universe because it helps us to learn, grow, and expand. It's not slapping us in the face. It's saying, I want you to step back, look at the big picture, find out what you really want. We're here to learn, grow, and expand, not stay the same. And, we have had a lot of sameness for a lot of years, but in the last 4 or 5 years, we've had a lot of change. And that's all happening. Everything's changing. One thing you can be sure about is change. So if you don't like change, you're going to have a hard time. And we want to change. We want to learn, grow, and expand. Everything's changing. And this last year has been one of those years where a lot has been changing, and we are still going through it. This doesn't slow down. It kind of speeds up because our consciousness is sped up. We've gotten a higher conscious now. So things that aren't working for us, things that aren't working for us globally are falling away, or they're showing up to show us we need to change these things. So there's a lot of unrest. There's a lot of change, and we need to just roll with it more and also be patient, until it works out, or see where it's working out. We're in this space a lot of times this year. I've even been in this space, and I know most of my clients have been. Almost everybody on the planet has been in this space, what now? Or, I'm just going to wait. This is what we should be in. The space that we should be in is I'm going to wait and see how this plays out, because I know the universe has my back. I know that God has my back, and it's playing out. I know that we all have these small wins here and there where it's wow, I couldn't have even planned that. I got exactly what I wanted or what I was hoping for, but it was around the world to get there, and it didn't exactly fall into place like I thought it would. But then when we look back on it, it's wow, I couldn't have even planned it better. Okay. So, and that's how we're going to be. It's wow, but it's on a global level. And because we're so tuned into our phones to technology and things like that, it makes the information come so fast. Our information is so fast. And we might find that information will slow down a little bit. Maybe the universe will say, hey, let's look at technology. Let's slow it down a little bit in the future. I do feel that that's coming. Next year is going to be an interesting year. So let's see what other questions we have here. I was just looking at that. Thank you, Diego, for putting that up. Good juju. Does my dog have a message for me? Does he try to communicate with me telepathically? Wow, let's see. I love the animal questions. And I'm also an animal communicator, so this is a great question for me. So it says, yes, you have some interesting cards around this too. Good juju. It says that there's some sorrow there that your dog has picked up, but it doesn't mean that the dog is sorrowful. It says your dog's message is that there's, so first of all, you have the wealth through communication card, which I've talked about before, the 10 of discs. So there is communication there. That's a given. And it's interesting because our animals, especially dogs, pick up our emotions, know how we're feeling about them. They can't understand our language, but we can talk to them and they can get it telepathically, like you asked. Like, so your dog is actually very in tune with you. And it also says, like, I'm getting that the dog wants more walks or more exercise or to play more with you, like with you. It says that you know what you need to do, and there's some self-transformation around that too, which is great. Yeah, and there's success around this. Interesting. So because there's no back and forth, like I want to ask you a question. I want to ask all of you questions when I am giving you the answer, but I'm going to just ask you this question, good juju. It says that like when you go away, there's sorrow. So there's some anxiety and that comes from you, not the animal. But if you have separation anxiety, the animal will have separation anxiety. So here's a tip. When you go away, you leave the house, you just know that the dog, our friends, our family are going to be fine. They're going to be fine. When we take vacations, we do work things that are in other states, in other countries a lot. So when we go, we have to really know within ourselves that we're not going to miss Terry because Terry's going to be having a good time with the person that is coming to take care of Terry. So we have a wonderful pet sitter who comes and stays in our home. But even if you have to put them in a kennel, you have to realize that you need a kennel that you feel is trustworthy and that you know they're going to have a good time. Like they need a break from you too, as much as we need a break from them. Animals need a break too. We actually think our Terry dog, our Cairn Terrier, Terry, actually sleeps better when we're away, like going shopping or something, because when we come home, he's asleep and wakes up and he's so excited to see us. But when we're home, he's kind of like the watchdog. It's like he has one eye open and both ears up all the time when we're home, even while we sleep. So there's that good thing. So it's just telling me that you just need to be in control of your emotions more and feel what you want your dog to feel. You want to feel. That's what they'll feel. Excellent, though. Excellent communication with your dog. And here's Roger King. Ask another animal question. Yay. Our 185-pound rescue Floyd, which I love seeing him on Facebook, the English Mastiff, is around 8 years old. He's slowing down. Is he enjoying his time on Earth? That's nice. So, and yes, dogs slow down. Animals slow down as by how big they are or how small they are. A small dog is very different from a large dog in how they see in the world. Good Juju says, yes, we are going out of town tomorrow and leaving Doggo with daycare. See, so that's why the sorrow card came up. Like, and I can tell, Good Juju, that you have the separation anxiety. So look at it as he's going to daycare. Daycare's fun. He or she is going to daycare. So that's great. Excellent. All right, let's just see how Floyd is doing. Is he enjoying his time here on Earth? Yes, and there's more opportunity for him because you even get the fool around him, Roger. Like, don't miss the opportunity. Interesting enough, the sorrow card comes up for you too in this, like, but it's our sorrow, not his. So the sorrow card comes up like you fear or you wonder if he's enjoying his life here on this earth. He is. There's a gain in all levels for him. And it's interesting because it shows that Floyd feels that he's the master of the house. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I bet it is because he really comes up like, I'm the master of the house here. So how can he not like that? He really does like that. He doesn't. It's interesting because he has to draw on his courage to move forward. When there's change around the home, when there's change, maybe even Rufus coming in, but there's success around that. So it's like he's the leader of the pack. You have a big pack, 11 dogs. So, but Floyd loves that. And I really feel him slowing down for him, because you get the universe card, which is seeing your hopes and dreams come true. So for him, him slowing down may be that he's just relaxing into just enjoying where he is. I mean, you have a great place there in Nebraska, so it's amazing. So yes, that's a yes. Kathy O. Art, our friend Kathy O. Art, she's an artist, an amazing artist, friend of ours. My ex-husband died last year from COVID. Is there something he wants to tell me? I didn't see him before he passed. Okay, let's ask that. So yes, I do mediumship also. And I do it with the cards, same thing. Let's see. I want to get that question up here. Hang on just a second. Thank you. Thank you, Diego. From COVID, is there something he wants to tell me? So interesting, Kathy. He actually says that there was some conflict and strife, and from him, he was a little bit disappointed in how things worked out, but he also felt that there was opportunity for you to grow and expand, and everything's a spiritual dominion card comes up, which means everything is working out the way it's supposed to, has worked out the way it's supposed to, even though you didn't get to see him. He knows how you felt, because there's a knowledge and wisdom from the hermit, and there's expansion of your world. And it also says, he says, you're expanding in your world and don't analyze it so much, that your world is expanding, and you're going to see your hopes and dreams come true, and do what you're passionate about, which is your art. And see, so this is interesting, because I got this intuitively. I'm getting that the art was very important to him. Art was very important to him. There's a passion and lust for life and seeing your hopes and dreams come true. And I know that art is very important to you. So there's a connection between him and you still while he's on the other side. And you could even channel that in your art. And I believe you do. But you may not have known that he's around that, because he says you're on the right path, and you just need to focus on whatever you want to focus on, your medium, your what you're doing in art, and let go of the fear of losing everything. And he's also saying that you did get to complete yes, he was a successful artist. Yes, that makes sense. I was like, okay, I didn't remember that. And but I got like, wow, the art and the art, your art, his art, it's amazing. And there's a completion of a cycle that he feels around with you. So that is great, because it's a spiritual completion of a cycle. Four of Wands here. Wands are spiritual. So it means that he got to complete his cycle while he was here, even though it felt like he left through COVID, but he was able to feel and know that he completed his cycle here on Earth, which is great. So now he has moved on. But he is around you, and you communicate with him, and you should communicate with him. And it's great. Thank you, Kathy. So we're just about out of time. I don't want to go over time here, because there's other people getting on their shows and getting ready. The New Thought Media Network, thank you for allowing me to do this podcast, have this podcast. ntmedia.org is their website. Thank you, Diego Reese, for being our god of technology. Thank you, Reverend Brzezinski, for having me here. Thank you all for joining me today. And Kathy says thank you. We have people all over the world, and thank you for your questions. And my website is psychicrick.com. And I look forward to seeing you soon. There's Tina too. Thank you, Tina. everybody have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful month. Have a wonderful rest of the year too. It's going to be interesting. So once we get through November 8th with the lunar eclipse, it's going to be smoother sailing. We'll know where we're at. There are things that you need to let go of during the lunar eclipse. Let go of them. Welcome the new things in. That's what a lunar eclipse does, is good for. And make sure that you're handling your emotions. We need to make sure that we're taking care of our emotions and being in control of our emotions at this time, because it can be a little bit wonky. What else do I want to tell you? Just that I love you all. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great rest of the day.
I am psychic medium Rick Finbow. My purpose in this work is to have you gain clarity and peace of mind in knowing that you are on the right path.
What would you like to talk about? What would you like to know?
You can truly sense and feel that he is living his purpose, he's on purpose, and he's sharing his gifts.
So if I could just get your first name and your date of birth, I do a little bit of numerology to start off with.
He's always spot on, but you can just feel his genuine care and concern to really serving you and your higher purpose.
Let's see what September has in store for us.
With Rick's guidance, I've been able to achieve a life of my dreams.
I have been offering readings professionally for over 36 years. I use tarot cards to help me focus my intuition. I'm a natural-born psychic, which means for me I was an extremely sensitive child. At the age of 5, I was diagnosed with asthma and emphysema. At age 10, my grandfather passed away of asthma and emphysema. Because of this, I learned how to ground myself and not take on others' illnesses and emotions. I turned my affliction into the great gift of insight for others.
So this feels like a financial step forward from a job, not a career.
My life has taken a totally different path, a beautiful, wonderful, exciting path that I would have honestly never thought possible, never would have pursued if not for Rick's reading.
It says don't hold back. So the same thing, you guys just have fun, don't hold back.
He talked to me about quite a few things in this reading, and I have to tell you, most of them have come true, or I can tell that they're on their way. But I would highly, highly recommend anyone who wants guidance or just a light in their life, because that's what he is.
These are wild animals. Welcome to you, wild and crazy.
He just brings peace to your heart and possibility to your life.
In a psychic reading, we look at the past, present, and future. In a mediumship reading, we connect with your loved ones on the other side, and this often includes pets. I offer one-on-one readings through Skype, phone, or in person at my office. Mini readings for parties and events are one of my specialties. When filling larger venues, I act as a keynote speaker and psychic entertainer. Isn't it time for clarity?
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate.